Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Talking with Heroes talk show program, www.talkingwithheroes.com, and our online news site, thankyouforyourservice.us. I am Bob Calvert, your host, and we're back at Forward Operating Base Fenty in Jalalabad, Afghanistan, and we're getting ready to go inside the Fenty Chapel and to do an interview with the Brigade Chaplain for the 4th BCT 4th ID, Major Paul Madej. And before we get inside here, first I want to thank Sergeant Scott, who's now behind the camera helping. I appreciate you helping, sir, and you'll be meeting Sergeant Scott a little later when we go on a foot patrol. And we'll be teaming up on the camera there too, but we'll also be doing an interview with him. So I want to thank all the people that made this trip possible. Without them, I would not have been able to be here. Rob Burzell with returntowork.org, blackhawk.com, freedomhunters.org, newsblaze.com, number5jump.com, Sportsman's Warehouse in Colorado Springs, sportsmanswarehouse.com, Eric Chia in Olathe, Kansas, Colin Clark in Elizabeth, Colorado, militaryconnection.com, soldiersangels.org, and Chief Warrant Officer retired Dennis McCormack, retired from Fort Carsons, many years of service to our country. So what we're getting ready to do now, folks, is go inside the chapel. Welcome back, folks. We are inside chapel at FOB Fenty, and it's a privilege to introduce from Fort Carsons, 4th BCT 4th ID, the Brigade Chaplain, Major Paul Madej. Welcome, sir.
Thanks. Nice to have you here, Bob.
Well, I appreciate it. I enjoyed the services, and I appreciate you getting time to do this. I know you were very busy. I've seen you firsthand. So why don't you start out, tell the people that are watching the video, our listeners, a little bit about yourself, your military career, just kind of go back to the beginning, how long you served, and what led you also to come into the military as a chaplain. You can hold us as well.
Thanks, Bob. This is my 15th year in the military. I started off in the Navy years ago and felt a calling back in, gosh, as early as 1990 when I was ordained to come into the military ministry. There were reserve centers near my house and my church, and we assisted with the folks there, and before you know it, I was in the military. This is my 3rd war here. I was in Operation Enduring Freedom 1 and Operation Iraqi Freedom 1. And then had a break to do some schools and go off to Germany, and then now come back for OEF 10 to see how things have changed and how ministry has grown.
Okay. Talk about a little bit of what you do. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. Everybody's job is strenuous. I was just saying this morning how tired I am. I only did it in 3 weeks. I don't know how you guys do it for a year. But talk about what your ministry has you doing.
Bob, as you know, in the Chaplain Corps, we have a 3-pronged approach to ministry, and that is to nurture the living, to care for the casualties, and to honor the dead. In our 11th month, it's amazing to see the work that all of our folks, the 4,000 of us, have done in Task Force Mount Warrior in this eastern portion of Afghanistan. With 53 dead and 729 wounded and about 200 returned for care back home, and that's just the physical wounds. There is a lot of care for everyone, including those who are just coming in and those who are getting ready to depart. I am blessed with 9 chaplains who represent 9 battalions throughout RC East, and they're the ones who do the real ministry with the soldiers in the mountains, throughout the desert. They are there when soldiers are struggling, when soldiers are happy. They're there to make sure that religious services are there when the soldiers are available. They've learned that it's not just a soldier war anymore. We have Air Force here, and we have Navy, we have Marine Corps. So it's changed a lot in the last 9 years. My job is to ensure that all of that happens, that they are resourced properly, that right before Christmas, when 5,000 care packages came in from churches around the country, we had to make sure that myself and the VSB chaplain, Chaplain Brown, had to find airplanes and find all kinds of opportunities to get those boxes out to chaplains who aren't so fortunate like we to have a beautiful chapel like this. They're in the mountains, they're in much more austere places. So that was like 3 weeks before Christmas, and those care packages continue to arrive, and it's a great morale boost for soldiers some who don't even have any families, some who are here truly in selfless service to serve their nation, to make some things of themselves, and to go home as proud folks.
That's really incredible, that kind of turnout. I mean, thank you to all of the churches that did that and all the people part of the churches. I mean, that's really impressive. I hadn't heard that before. That's quite a turnout. I had the privilege of going with you yesterday to FLB Wright, and you know, we had a plan. You know, I was going to interview over there, and thought we were going to have some time. And as soon as we got there, you had one person after another that came to you counseling, and just talk about that a little bit. It's a daily thing for you, right?
It is. You get up in the morning and you think you know what you're going to do. And yesterday we got to Wright, and I had planned a simple day for you, which I thought was going to be just very simple, with you coming in, interviewing a few folks, and then us doing a nice walk, having a nice lunch, and jumping on the bird. And as soon as we got there, we heard that one of our great Americans had died yesterday, and that starts some chain of events for that unit and for the family back home and for ourselves. There were many folks who were new, who wanted to talk about the struggles of the first month without family. Some were just tired and bored because it was so hot, and they're at the end of their mission and getting ready to go home in a few days, and their hypervigilance for 10, 11, almost 12 months comes to a crashing halt as they prepare to pack and go home. So I know that we didn't get to do what we intended to do, but certainly by dinner time last night, we got to take a breath and make sure that everyone there was tracking. I got to meet the new Air Force chaplain who just came in, and a stellar individual, and work with him and make sure that he has what he needs to continue on for his 6 months as we go home in about a month.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Chaplain Anderson really helped a lot, connected me, so I got some really good interviews yesterday. And we talked with Chaplain Ball, who's going home, Chaplain Conklin, who's coming in. And so we had all three of them together, so I appreciate you with those connections. And so you mentioned your chaplains, they go all even into the farthest outpost, right? So you're traveling a lot. I've heard you've put on over 100 missions, or
up to last month, 563 missions off of this FOB, this forward operating base. I'm not unique to what chaplains do. That is not unique. They are constantly on the run as well. Some have ministries that are a little more directed to this FOB. Chaplain Brown, the BSB chaplain, for instance, he makes sure that this area continues to function as soldiers come and go from here. He still has areas that he must travel to, and soldiers all over the place. But most units have soldiers in between 8 and 11 locations. So even if you want to find a convoy or find an aircraft that's going once a month, well, you've got to get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places in a month. And sometimes you get there and the weather keeps you there for a few days. It's a lot of fun. Chaplains are climbing mountains. If the religious leader engagements and the key leader engagements are in a mountain area where a village is, then that's what they do. They have a chaplain assistant who is a guard for them to make sure that the security of the team is protected. And so between the two of them, where soldiers are, where Marines are, where airmen are, where sailors are, that's where the chaplain is as well.
Reporting from here in Afghanistan, I am Bob Calvert, your host at TalkingWithHeroes.com.